Back, ladies and gentlemen, we're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest for the afternoon, Dr. Sameh, former consultant to the former Minister of Tourism. It's a very good afternoon to you, Dr. Sameh. Right. We will be joined by Dr. Sameh, hopefully. We're just fixing the technical issue with our line. But of course, we will be discussing with our guest later on the latest developments with regards to the billion-dollar Grand Egyptian Museum. Of course, a towering symbol of Egypt's cultural renaissance, the new home of King Tutankhamun's treasures, which is to be one of the grandest museums in the world. The Grand Egyptian Museum, with its upcoming inauguration, home to over 100,000 artifacts, it signals a new era in the nation's timeline, one that will see it completely in charge of its history. Right, hopefully we have Dr. Sameh Saad, former consultant to the former Minister of Tourism, on the line. Dr. Sameh, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your time and for joining us this afternoon. Now, of course, discussing the latest developments with regards to the Grand Egyptian Museum. Announcements has been made that over 200 artifacts from the boy king's or King Tutankhamun's collection located in the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir Square is to be transferred to the Grand Egyptian Museum before its official opening. How important do you see this step, Dr. Sameh, with regards to getting all the artifacts and treasures of the boy king all under one roof?
The Grand Egyptian Museum has been gaining a good reputation during the past years.
Right.
The problem is we were waiting for the right moment to open it, but since the geopolitical situation in the area is not really allowing good time to do it. So it started now as partly, it has visitors, until the right moment to have an official opening for this museum.
Right.
So actually it has some traffic, not so much because the announcement came just 1 week before the opening, and definitely tour operator and travel agencies need to put it in their program, but slowly by the time it will have full capacity.
Indeed, Doctor.
Dr. Sameh, when will be the official opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum, and how will be the display of these artifacts differ from their current presentation in the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir?
You see, each one has a different personality. Let's say like this, that the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir has architecture, has things, and I don't think, you see, I don't have any official thing which I know, but I know that both of them will operate, both of them will have different things, so that travel agencies can include each one alone in their program.
Indeed. Now, Dr. Sameh, as you said, it has its own personality, and the Grand Egyptian Museum, a lot of work has been put into it in order for it to be a totally different experience, a multifaceted experience, whether it's with regards to the great treasures that it houses or the technological efficiency with which guests can spend their time at the Grand Egyptian Museum. What can you tell us with regards to what makes this museum one of a kind?
Well, actually, it's very large. It has a lot of monuments, antiquities, and stuff like this. It has the history goes. You see, the Museum of Tahrir, it's a big place, but the gym is separating each civilization, each era alone by itself. So it gives the visitor a chance to see Roman time only, or to see Greek time. You know, it's better variation, say like this. And definitely the display of the small antiquities and small statues with the lighting and things like this is modern, so it gives a better look and it gives different impression than Tahrir. Tahrir is an old museum, been created, made open since 100 years and more, so definitely at this time the technology is not as now.
Right.
So at the end, each one has its own personality.
Absolutely.
Well, Dr. Sameh, how will the relocation of these artifacts impact the public access to King Tutankhamun's collection during this transition period?
Sorry, say again, I didn't hear you. Hello?
Okay, I will repeat the question. How will the relocation of these artifacts impact the public access to King Tutankhamun collection during this transition period?
Well, I think now in the gym it's not open yet. It's not open, and I think it's closed from the old museum. So I don't know. It's a lot of details with the antiquities themselves. So I wouldn't really say anything to add it, but definitely they know what they are doing.
Absolutely right. Finally, Dr. Sameh, just to move on to tourism in general, we are, beginning the winter tourism season. What are your expectations for this season, especially with the fantastic locations, especially in Upper Egypt, Luqsor and Aswan, and the renowned visits to these areas in the winter?
We are still good, very good. The figures are very good. Now Luqsor and Aswan are full as well. The season is much more than better than what we expected. And I think now American elections are finished. So we were slowed down by the elections. Now I think we'll have better movement. So we expect this season, year 24, will have better figures than year 23. And definitely 25 is good. We don't have any major cancellation. But in general, still we have to remember that there is a political situation in the area, and which sometimes is not encouraging a lot of people to come because they don't know what's happening. But in general, we are very good.
Right. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Dr. Sameh Saad, the former consultant to the former Minister of Tourism. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us on today's edition of Cairo Local Time. Thank you, sir, for your insight. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of today's episode of Cairo Local Time. We hope you've enjoyed it. I was delighted to be in the company of my dear colleague, Sarah Sneem. Thank you very much, Sarah.
Thank you, Angie. It was a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching.